Rajat, your film Ankhon Dekhi releases March 21st. Could you tell us a little bit about the film?
This is always the tough part. It's a story of Bauji, this man. Well, the idea was very simple. The idea was this man decides one day, I will only believe what I experience. So if you tell me that there is gravity, I don't know. I have no direct experience of that, except when I let this go, it falls.
Right.
Every time. So this is my experience, that everything falls. Now, whether it happens because of gravity, that I don't know. So that's the kind of a guy. And after he gets this almost an obsession, then he can't stop. And then that became the premise of the story. So what happened to his family because of his madness? Is he a fool? Is he a saint? What is he? You know, that kind of a thing.
You've got Sanjay Mishra playing the main lead in the film. Now, he's an actor we've been seeing for years playing supporting roles, but it's an unusual choice for the main role, right?
Unusual by the standards
by regular standards.
Yeah.
Of course, once you watch the film, you realize he's perfect for the role, but were there other actors you were contemplating?
See, I'd worked with him on Pasgare Obama. That's the first time I met him. I'd not even seen his films, so I'd heard of him, but I didn't know who he is. When I worked with him, I was completely awestruck by his capabilities, and it was a great experience working with him. And soon after, I started writing Ankhon Dekhi. When I was writing Ankhon Dekhi, Sanjay's face kept coming.
Okay.
So in a way, I wrote it for Sanjay. You know, how would Sanjay play this, and so on. You know, which is not very often. I don't do that kind of thing. Normally, I just write a script and then I cast for it. But this one was an exception. So Sanjay was there from the very conception of the script. Having said that, when I was looking for money and that 1.5 years in between, and there was a time when Sanjay disappeared. I was trying to reach him and I couldn't reach him. Then I did think of others. I thought of Nasir Saab.
Okay.
I even contemplated about Mr. Bachchan. I thought, how would it be if he plays it? Of course, it would be very different. But finally, we came back to Sanjay, and I'm glad we did, because he's done a phenomenal job, I think.
And how did he react to it? I mean, when he was on set, did he have a real ball playing the role?
Oh yeah, completely. First of all, it's a great role for any actor, and he realized it. He's smart enough to know that. And he's just a fantastic actor. He's really an actor after my heart, you know, who loves to improvise, who would, you give him this much and he'll want this much, and he would try and see what he can do with this line, with this moment, with this property. He's just a fantastic actor. And so he gives you options. And 90% of time, they're very good options.
You were the first guy who got crowdsourcing in the industry. This was way back in 2003, right, when you made Raghu Romeo. And now it's been 11 years and you've made 6 films. Do you find it easier to finance your films now as opposed to 11 years ago?
I would say I find it easier, that's for sure. But whether it's easy, I can't say. I don't think it's been easy. It's never been easy. But it's easier for sure. Because I think in any case, first film is the real problematic one. You know, nobody knows you, you don't have any credentials. That is the time you really need somebody to trust you and put their money where their mouth is. After that, at least they know that you can make a film, you know. And in my case, they know that, okay, he can make a somewhat entertaining film. There will be some returns, there will not be a big loss, and so on. So I have some credentials to that extent. And yet, the problem is, every time I want to do something new, every time I try and do something that I've not done before. And of course, people expect you to do what you've done earlier. So when I'm trying to raise money for Ankhon Dekhi, people would say, okay, give us a Bheja Fry, give us a Mithya, make a gangster film.
Yeah.
I'm saying, not now. This is what I want to do now.
Right.
So that becomes a problem. And yet I'm very grateful that I've made 6 films in the last 15 years. I mean, I couldn't ask for more.
I believe you met the producer of Ankhon Dekhi on Twitter, right? That's an interesting story. Could you tell us a little bit about it?
Well, I'd been trying to meet all producers and studios for this. Nobody was very keen. And one day I just tweeted saying that, forget all the producers, I'm starting a new play. And somebody tweeted back, a gentleman by the name of Manish Mundra. He said, I'm a big fan of yours, sir, I'll produce a film. So I said, yeah, don't talk on Twitter about this. This is my phone number, call me. And he called me. And he said, I'll produce a film, sir, no problem. I said, Manish, read the script, come to Bombay, let's talk. which he did. And then he came to Bombay next month, and here we are. We are actually releasing the film. So it's been, and he's been a great producer, I must say. Really, so far he's been just phenomenal. Like an angel who money never stopped coming, there was no interference, and there was complete belief in it, Aniruddha. You know, that's the most important. Because most people have belief in you for making the film. But this guy is going up to this point of releasing it himself, you know.
And promoting it as well.
And promoting it and putting good money in promotion. So I'm very touched by that, you know.
What do you think are some of the problems ailing independent films in the industry today? Are there obstacles you feel we need to overcome?
See, there are problems on two fronts. On one front, the problem is with us. And the problem is we don't make films which are good enough. You know, and I think that's a huge problem.
Or tell new stories for that matter.
Or
tell new stories,
or tell new
innovative in any manner.
Exactly. I think that is the big problem. So even the small independent cinema itself has become kind of a cliche, you know. And you keep churning out the same thing over and over again, audience gets tired of it. They said, oh, okay, again, one of those films has come, you know.
Right.
So nobody's interested. And that's a big loss, I think. So we have to reinvent ourselves all the time. We have to push the envelope, and we have to do something really worthwhile and really out of the box for people to be interested. If it's the same old shit, then why should they not watch a big blockbuster where cars are flying and people are dancing, you know? Why would they come and watch our films? So that's one aspect of it. And the other aspect is that because it's independent cinema, it's never going to be easy. There will always be questions around it. Why should I risk my money? Why should I? What are the returns? There are no stars, there's no music, and so on. So producers will always be difficult to come by. But I think that is a struggle that each individual filmmaker has to take on his own or her own. It's never going to be easy. I'm convinced, you know.
There's a belief that the entry of studios in the industry has made it easier for independent films to be released. If not released, then at least distributed and marketed well. Do you believe that's true?
I think only to a very, very small extent, because studios came in with the same mentality and with more power, so which is actually scarier. But they wanted to come and make the same old blockbusters that everybody else was making. So what was new?
Right.
You know, if you also want to make an Akshay Kumar film with the bigger sets and bigger fights, we don't really need you. We were doing this anyway, you know. And then when they promote a film, when they release a film, it means 3,000 screens, 3,500 screens. So actually they're killing everything else in the wake.
Called the event film. But then again, when you look at Hollywood, there are studios who make these big budget films, right? But they are also backing these small films at the same time.
Aniruddha, how many? I mean, if you look at the box office chart, for example, all your 10 biggest box office films of last week would be what? It would be Thor, it would be an animation film or a superhero film.
Right.
And how rarely does a Inside Llewyn Davis or a Woody Allen film?
In fact, Inside Llewyn Davis didn't even get a lot of theaters. I don't think it's doing well commercially in the US as well.
Exactly my point.
But I guess.
And it's a great film. It's a great film.
Sure, but
and it's Coen Brothers, after 30 years of the movie making career, and still they're struggling.
I guess the difference is that in Hollywood, even though there is that big event film, which you know is going to bulldoze a lot of small independent films, there are avenues for independent films as well, right? I mean, there are DVDs. The DVD market is really big in Hollywood, and a lot of these films get shown on Netflix now. Do you think the online space is something that Indian filmmakers should be looking at in future?
I'm sure it'll happen. You know, this is something that we've been hearing for last 5 years. That market will open, it'll open. It hasn't opened yet. But broadband is expanding in a huge way. I'm sure in the next 5 years, 10 years, I don't know. See, I don't know if on a phone you would want to watch a movie. You know, I have an idea that on the phone you would want to watch Hila Ki Jawani and watch it repeatedly, which lasts for 3 minutes, which is intoxicating in a way. And it has that duration. I'm not sure you're going to watch Inside Llewyn Davis on your phone. You know, but who knows? Who knows how future will unfold? I'm sure. I'm always optimistic. You know, I'm always optimistic. I'm always positive. We have come this far. I'm sure there are only brighter things in the future, but we don't know how it'll all shape up. We'll see.
You do theatre on a regular basis, right? How do you balance off your theatre and film work? Is there any plan to it, or do you just go with what comes to you first?
We pretty much go with what is possible. See, a film takes a long time to get money for, to make, and so on. So now, for example, Ankhon Dekhi is releasing. I have 2 scripts ready with me. If I don't get money in the next 6 months, I'm going to start a play. It's really that simple. If I get money, then I start producing the film. If not, then might as well do a play while you wait, you know. And then for a play, you don't have to wait for anybody. You just get some good actors and you're ready to go. For a film, you need money, unfortunately.
You dedicated Ankhon Dekhi to Kaul and Kumar, Shahani. Could you tell us a little bit about your association with those 2 filmmakers?
I worked with them. I worked with both of them. With Mani on Nazar and with Kumar on Khayal Gatha and Bhavantaran. So for 3 years of my apprenticeship, when I came out of FTI, was with them. They also came to FTI a lot to teach us. They're both my teachers. I regard them both very, very much. Unfortunately, Mani is not there anymore. Also, this idea of the film, the basic idea of experience over anything, experience over ideation, was something that I learned from Mani, and in many ways from Kumar. I think that's why the dedication.
What are your expectations from Ankhon Dekhi? I mean, what is the kind of outcome would you be satisfied with?
See, we've had 2 cast and crew screenings and 1 screening in New York. So for me, in a way, the journey is over. You know, because when you write and then you shoot and edit, you're always wondering how would that response come from the audience. You know? And when you finally see the film with an audience, somehow the journey, it's a closure. So that has happened, and I'm very pleased with what I've received. Now, whatever happens is a bonus. You know, if many people watch it, I'll be very happy. But if nobody watches it, I will still accept it. You know what I'm saying? I'll be hurt for a few days, but that's okay with me because I made the film that I wanted to make, and I think it's an important film, not only for me, but I like the film. I'm very proud of the film, you know. So now that's what I mean. Whatever happens is a bonus. If it gets an award, super. If it doesn't get anything, I'm okay, you know. That was not the primary motive for making the film.
Well, we hope a lot of people watch your film, and I wish you the very best with Ankhon Dekhi. Thanks a lot.